Welcome to the O'Neill Report. Recently, I had a conversation with Nebraska State Senator Barry DeKay in Niobrara, Nebraska. In this video, Senator DeKay gives us updates on the progress and plans for the Weigand Marina expansion taking place at Lewis and Clark Lake. We cover many topics, including what other areas of the lake are involved in this expansion and other aspects of this expansion under the Star Wars bill. We are at the Country Cafe in Niobrara, Nebraska, and I'd like to introduce Nebraska State Senator Barry DeKay. And you're from the Niobrara area?
Yeah, live west of Niobrara on Highway 12, so yes.
Okay. And the reason that I wanted to talk to you and do this video was I wanted you to give us an update on the Star Wars project, the expansion of the marina at the Weigand Marina at Lewis and Clark Lake, and also, you know, what's happening with the Niobrara project. Absolutely.
We've been meeting, we've had 2 meetings since April. I've met in Omaha with Congressman Flood and the Ponca tribe of Nebraska, and that deals more with the Niobrara State Park issue. But we've had meetings going forward, and we had meetings with Game and Parks in June about the Weigand Marina and things like that. There has been some work done on the Burback campsites. They are starting to do a little construction with that. They're in the final phases of going to the Corps of Engineers with their permitting process, and the Corps of Engineers will probably take between 3 to 8 months to review and start that permitting process. And so going forward, it looks like possibly toward end of late summer next year or early fall that we might be able to start doing some work on that project, providing the Corps finishes up their review process with that. And the groundbreaking will be taking place time sensitive, so it's not impacting the businesses in the area or the people using the facility. So I'm thinking, from my perspective, that it would be done in sections, so to reduce impact to the people using the facilities, the marina, the boat slips and things like that, and be able to keep it as useful and conducive to people coming into the area as it possibly can.
So people may not recognize the Star Wars acronym because it's kind of wordy, but I wanted for people to know what it is. It's a statewide tourism and recreational water access and resource sustainability.
Right. And the Star Wars project itself actually has 4 sections to it: the Weigand Marina, the Niobrara State Park area out in western Nebraska with Lake McConaughey and with boat slips and things out there, and then down in Sarpy County with proposed possible lake in between Lincoln and Omaha there for recreational use too. So it encompasses not just northeast Nebraska, but as I stated earlier with you in a different conversation, that I'm going to be focusing more on the benefits of northeast Nebraska through Weigand Marina, Lewis and Clark, and the Niobrara State Park.
One thing I asked you before was, do you perceive this as this Star Wars bill, the statewide bill? Do you perceive this more as a statewide strategy for this unicameral looking for economic development in the Nebraska state parks?
I see it as economic development. I wouldn't say it's just the unicameral. There's other people at stake with it. The governor and the previous governor, Ricketts, were both on board with going forward with these projects. And it is an economic development tool. We can utilize more people using the Nebraska side of the lake at Weigand. There's over 2 million tourists a year that visit Lewis and Clark Lake, and if we could get our share of the pie, that would absolutely help with economic development and potential for more people coming through this area to see the beauty and the natural beauty of northeast Nebraska. And I perceive that as how people want it to be looked upon too, is not commercialize it so much, but just to have it so people can come through, spend 2 or 3 days either boating, kayaking, hiking, whatever they can in northeast Nebraska, spend a few days here, and obviously spend some money on their needs as far as lodging, food, gas, and etc. So
yeah, just driving over here this morning, I mean, there is no other place in Nebraska that I've been that looks like it does here. I mean, with the rolling hills all the way from Niobrara to Yankton and to Vermilion, that whole northeast Nebraska area is just you know, really something to see. And now the proposal says you're going from, like, I think there's 122 boat slips now, and they're putting in 5 to 6 times that many.
Well, right now the proposal is going to be an extra 410 boat slips, so I'm thinking it's going to be in between 500 and 600 total boat slips when they get done with this project. And there are people in the state of Nebraska that are now putting their boat in slips over on the South Dakota side that would like to use the Nebraska side of the lake as much as they can, and those dollars will help stay in the state coffers as far as meeting our revenues needs in the state too. So there's a lot of economic potential here, economic development potential here to help us out going forward. So,
and they're putting in a restaurant in an area with outside eating and fire pits. That's also included?
Yes. And I don't know the full scope of what they're going to do with the marina, but they are going to update from the current marina they have now, and that's probably going to cause a little heartburn for some people while it's under construction. But if I understand it right, they're going to do it in sections so that it doesn't have a total impact. People will still have the use of the marina, have the use of their current boat slips, and when the marina comes under construction, the new boat slips will still be available to them. The amenities that come with that part of it will probably be compromised for the length of time it takes to build that. So
talk a little bit about what they're doing in Niobrara and the Niobrara State Park.
The Niobrara State Park, we working with the Game and Parks Commission. Right now the proposal is to update the entrance to the park, do some work inside the state park, but they're also wanting to build a new lodge and conference center. The lodge will encompass probably 40 lodge rooms, maybe add a few more cabins, and a conference room they're going to build to be able to accommodate 300 people, so that we can have some outstate conferences come to Northeast Nebraska, see what Northeast Nebraska is about, and use the amenities here in Knox County.
So this will all be happening in Niobrara at the same time that it's happening at Weigand?
It could be. Weigand's, if I understand it right, Weigand is a little more ground shovel ready than what Niobrara is right now. We've been working. Like I said, we had meetings with the Ponca Nation earlier this year in April down in Omaha, and we were hoping to have them on board as far as interpretation center honoring the Ponca and Chief Standing Bear. Since that time, the Poncas, I've been told that the Poncas are starting to develop so that they can south of the state park on their own land, that they're wanting to put up their own museum honoring the Chief Standing Bear and the Ponca tribe, and they are in the process of gathering artifacts and stuff as we speak for that museum going forward. And the Poncas and Game and Parks both agree that there's no, if they're going to put it on their land, there's no use of duplicating the same type of museum a mile and a half apart from each other. So right now, as it stands, the Poncas are probably going to do their part of it, and the Game and Parks and other entities are going to go forward with the lodge and the conference center too. So hopefully they, and I think they will be able to work hand in hand together, and it'd be something that will be a drawing card to Northeast Nebraska.
Going back to the lake part of it, there are areas like the Burback area, the Bloomfield area, the South Shore area down by the dam, and then Miller's Creek. So those are all included for updates. Like I think Miller's Creek is going to have like an outlook tower.
Okay.
That is still in the works.
I can't answer that. I don't know the specifics of every project that's taken place.
Because I know sometimes things are put out there originally and changed.
Yeah.
So I didn't know.
I would have to inquire more on, you know, the specifics of every project. I do know that Burback area has had some additional campsites being developed. So they're working on that. I think there's 13 different campsites being developed in the Burback area right now. So the project is underway. If you want to say officially, I don't know if you want to call it officially, but the project is underway, and everything is showing that we're going to go forward with this project. The money's been appropriated for it, and the sooner we can use that money that's been given to us 2, 3, 4 years ago and get this project underway and completed, I think you're going to see the benefits of it in the near future.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people are just really excited about it. One thing I wanted to ask you was the road update, the 54C road, or which a lot of people call the Marina Road, going from Highway 121 to the Marina and then ending at Miller's Creek. It sounds like that's going to be updated also.
Part of it's been updated, and I guess a lot of that is going to depend. Right now it's a county road, so Knox County is going to probably have to answer to that a little bit more. If there's a potential for that to be a state highway spur sometime in the future with the amount of traffic going over, I don't know what the parameters are to realign that road right now.
Is that something that you're for, is to make it a state highway?
I would like to have any kind of road that would make it, regardless if it's county or state, to make it as safe and accessible as possible for people utilizing the area. I do know that money appropriated for state highways is kind of it's a tight budget. There are 4-lane projects that need to be completed. There's a 4-lane project on 81 south of Columbus to York that's going to be in the works. I've been working on trying to get appropriations, or at least get it on the 6-year calendar that we can be working on expanding Highway 81 from Norfolk to Yankton into a 4-lane. So with that particular spur off of that, it just depends on what kind of money it's going to take and where we can come up with that money to allocate for that project. But right now they redid a bridge right there in that area, and it's going to take, I think, significant shoulder work to widen it out and make, you know, it's pretty narrow shoulders, pretty steep shoulders, so it's going to take significant work. It's just not going in and overlaying it and widen the width of it, because the shoulders are so narrow right now. It would take more dirt work and stuff. So there's a lot of factors involved in that too. So that's above my pay grade to see what that project's how that's gonna play out.
Well, I wanted to ask you, because a lot of people are asking us, you know, about the road. How are we going to get those extra people in and out of there, you know, safely. And I think that was one thing that people want, is that for that to happen.
And with any project, there are things that need to take place. You know, they will have to get easements from the landowners along that road to obviously widen the shoulders out and update the grade so that the road width can be wider. So there are a lot of things at play, and I can't tell you if it would come past that. I can't tell you a timeline when that would. But right now, it's still Knox County road, and you would probably have to I'd defer those questions to Knox County right now.
Okay. Is there any other things that you want your constituents to know about what's happening, or any insight you have, more insight?
Well, a little bit along with this, Cedar Knox, and I introduced a bill last year to try to get funds appropriated for Cedar Knox Water Project, which could impact and would impact the Weigand Marina area, because water lines would be able to get to the marina to people having cabins, houses, and stuff along that stretch too. So it would take a lot of pressure off the water situation on the Nebraska side. And right now, my job with that is to try to appropriate funds to it and to get the best quality and quantity of water as I could to northeast Nebraska. I'm on a water project out of Boyd County, and it's been very beneficial for us. And my job is to try to obtain funds for them to work on this project. It's not my job to tell them where the amount of use it would use, or where the wells go, or anything. That's for subject matter experts to decide that going forward.
Is there a site where people can go to check on the updates, or what is actually maybe even the progress or whatever of what's happening?
I would tell people probably go to the Nebraska Game and Parks website, and I don't have that email address in front of me. You may have, but that would be where I would start. And Tim McCoy and those folks would be able to maybe answer some questions. And if you would get a hold of the Game and Parks, they could probably give you a website address that you could go on to through the Game and Parks and see what the progress is, where the permitting is right now, and where we're going forward with it.
I know you're the the architectural firm Confluence that you're using to do all of this has like a futuristic view of what the marina area will look like, more or less. And I'll have a link below that you can go to that and check out that video. But that's quite an interesting video. I mean, it's really quite the project.
Yeah, and with that, Confluence is doing the work, but they are not through the legislature, but they are contracted through the Game and Parks to do this, and we're just trying to, as a legislative body, trying to do what we can to make this, and as a member of the Star Wars Committee, trying to make this go forward and get completed as soon as we can. So that's where we're at with all of that.
Well, thank you, Senator. It's been great talking to you, and hopefully we can get together next year and revisit this and keep people informed on what's going on at Lewis and Clark Lake and the Niobrara area.
Absolutely. Like I say, this is a beautiful part of the state. I'm very glad to be able to represent this state and hopefully have a positive impact on the future of the state and northeast Nebraska. So,
thank you.
Thank you.